Pushkar. Hugh and Colleen Ganser. In the long blue evenings of autumn, when the moon begins to fatten for the brightest night of the year, the tribes start to move. They stream out from all over Rajasthan, heading for the land around Pushkar. There are camel-herding Raikas with turbans like blazing sunsets. Wandering Gujars, their women in gypsy-bright skirts, swaying like flowers in a breeze. Lohars with their creaking nail-studded carts, and martial bhils whose ancestors were dreaded warriors. Pushkar has held one of the world's most colourful animal fairs every year for centuries. Cattle, sheep, goats, camels and horses are bought and sold after much bargaining. It is also an annual gathering of families, normally separated by great stretches of desert. Relatives and friends greet each other, and there is a great deal of fun, eating and shopping. Pushkar excited our senses. The sand felt soft under our feet. The irresistible aroma of frying pakoras and sizzling, succulent, golden jalebis emerged from a dhaba. Its owner was a man with the build of a wrestler and the expression of a Bollywood villain. We risked his appearance and told him what we wanted. The jalebis were hot and crunchy, dripping with juicy sweetness. The high-calorie snack filled us with energy. We clicked a tourist perched awkwardly on a camel, looking rather nervous. In the foreground, a man lay near a sharp pile of long-handed pitchforks called chokni. He had a mobile phone plastered to his ear. Pushkar bridges time and equipment, with chokni and mobile phone perfectly matched. We drifted through the crowd, cheered at camel races and turban-tying competitions, and thrilled at the roaring tension of the Well of Death, where powerful bikes spun around at terrifying speeds. We delighted at children chortling as they tumbled out of an inflatable Mickey Mouse. A man with a warrior moustache sat in a stall, offering swords and shields of various shapes. We visited a tented stable with a superb white horse with pink ears. A young Haryanvi farmer said that the beautiful animal was of the Nukra breed and that it had originally been sold for 13 lakhs, but was now priced at 51 lakhs. We strolled past women shopping for bangles while their lone male companion stood behind, frowning unhappily. Camels slurped water from a trough, dipping into their own reflections. It was only when we noticed the lengthening shadows that we realized that we had been here the whole day. The great tented camp on the plain and its twinkling cooking fires were touched by the orange disk of the setting sun. When we wove our way through them, many village folk looked up, smiled, and offered to share their meal with us. Most desert people are very hospitable. We sat cross-legged around a fire, on soft sheepskin rugs, ate ember-baked rotla bread with a curry of crisp desert vegetables. We then drank rich white chaas, fermented from milk and churned with spices and herbs. The sun, a flaming orange ball, sank slowly into the hot desert sands. The night was silvered with moonlight as we slept. We rose before dawn and merged into a river of people flowing toward the lakes. We were caught in an irresistible current of moving humans for almost an hour. We could not slow down. We could not speed up. We could not move right or left. Then groups began peeling off and pouring into lanes that led down to their favorite bathing ghats. we sat on the flat roof of a lakeside building and looked around. What an incredible sight! On 3 sides spread the Jayastha Pushkar lake, metallic in the pre-dawn light. The steps leading down to the lake were crowded with bare-chested men and brightly dressed women. All eyes were fixed on the glowing eastern horizon. Then, as a chip of the sun thrust over the edge, bells began to ring, and men and women plunged into the water and threw flowers into the lake, welcoming the dawn. Soon, a floating carpet of pink rose petals started to spread out from the bathing carts across the water. That night, while the great glow of the full moon shimmered on the surface, we stood on our terrace and looked out over the lake. Slowly, pilgrims carried their lamps to the water's edge and set them afloat on the lake, to the sound of lapping water and the scent of incense rising in fragrant blue clouds. It was a beautiful ceremony of thanks for the year that had passed and hope for the year to come. We knew that when dawn appeared, most of the lamps would have flickered out and the caravans would be plodding back across the sands. Next autumn, before the huge full moon brightened the sky, the tribes would be back, drawn by the old magic of Pushkar.